St. Augustine was born in the year 354 in Tagaste, which would be modern-day Algeria. As a young man, he was very worldly wise. He studied all the pagan classics. He looked at the scriptures but thought they were too demanding and too demeaning, and so he rejected that. He went on to live a pagan life in a real way, falling into some of the Manichaean heresies of a double principle that there's good and evil. His mother, Monica, prayed for him for over 30 years that he might convert to Christianity. He went to Rome, I believe, and he encountered St. Ambrose. And listening to him explain the scriptures, he was so captivated by it that he became interested in the scriptures. And he began studying them. In the course of a serious illness, he read and just absorbed the scriptures in a very real way, to the point where he had Ambrose baptize him. And a few years later, he was ordained a priest. And then some years after that, he was ordained a bishop. He had a mistress that he lived with. They had a son that he cared for. There was a lot that Augustine had to put behind him in embracing Christianity, but he did it. In his writings, the famous line, "Lord, too late have I loved you. Too late have I loved you." He came to the realization, and he's a great mind. He came to the realization that all the knowledge he could obtain in his mind and his intellect was good, but it wasn't love. From that knowledge, he had to bring it from his head to his heart so that he could love God above all things. And just as we read in the letter from St. John, God is love. And if we love God, then we will love our neighbor. And so if God is love, that has to be the center of our faith. We know it intellectually, but we have to move it to our heart and truly love God in person. And so today we're here at the Mass because God loved us. He loved us enough, as the Gospel says, to send his Son into the world to save us from our sins. And so we're here because of God's love. And that's a very consoling and comforting thought for me. I hope it is for you. Don't call anyone on earth your father, your teacher, your master. Only one is God, it says in the Gospel. And then you say, well, I call my dad Father. You call me Father. Is there something wrong with that? What the Gospel means is that the true Father is God, who created all of us. And our fathers on earth are a extension of God the Father in the real sense, because we teach and we love. And that's what they were called to do. And so the ultimate teacher is Christ, who taught us all truth, and all truth will lead us to love of God and love of neighbor, as St. Augustine found in his own life. His famous line, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you." The heart is the seat of love, and we will ultimately rest in God. About the liturgy, Augustine said that we should march and sing and march, and the end of the march is God. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.